What stands between you and your dream destination is your mindset. Heroism is not just an exclusive prerogative of some people. Absolutely no. Heroism is a matter of choice. Life is more of evolution than revolution. Now, evolution in the sense that the daily little habits, actions, and steps that we take, those are the things that stack over time to give us the result. Any young man, young woman that wants to excel, they must lift themselves above mediocrity. There must be that self-awareness for them to know that they are in a tight corner and they must seek help from mentors, listen to programs like this that are able to educate them, conscientize them, raise the level of their awareness, and then we need to look at sometimes more extended. Unfortunately, many young people today they find themselves in environments that does not promote excellence. They find themselves in environments that promote mediocre, and as a result of that, they are literally a victim of their environment. So you see them trying to rise, but no way there is an aggressive, ongoing mass mediocritization of the masses. And the biggest victim of this mediocritization are the youthful populace. So it is a big challenge among our youthful population. And I want to say without any want of contradiction, there are when I say few, extremely few, role models that young people can look up onto.
Hello everyone, this is your family-friendly, fact-flowing and faith-filling podcast. And today in the house we have a very important personality and we are going to introduce him. He's been a very wonderful man and well-known research personnel. So with a round of applause, let's welcome Pastor Maybe Francis into the house. And welcome, sir. So glad to have you around. Yes, so Pastor Maybe Ofugu is the founder of Drive Track and CEO of Solution and Synergy Firm Limited, a leading knowledge-based organization focused on human and organization transformation.
He helps individuals and organizations to experience transformation, embrace change, and create and navigate disruption. Maybe is a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants and a fellow of the Institute of Professional Entrepreneurs and Strategic Administrators of Nigeria and a certified management consultant.
Also, he is a master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming, which underpins his innovative approach to coaching, mentoring, and leadership development. He is a certified management and leadership expert from prestigious luxury academy in London.
As a thought leader and groundbreaking mentor, Pastor Maybe is committed to driving success and creating lasting impact in both individuals, family, and organizations. His greatest desire is to democratize knowledge and disrupt current learning methodology.
Thank you very much. So with a round of applause, let's welcome our strategic transformation facilitator in the house once again. Pastor Maybe, you're welcome.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's so exciting to have you in the house on this topic on mediocrity and excellence. So looking at this topic, how to bridge the gap between mediocrity and excellence, especially among today's youth. A lot of people strive to get to the top, and most times they try, but they don't eventually get to the top, and it can be very, very painful. And that's why I want to discuss how to get from the zero level to the zenith, how to move from being at the 0 point to that point of zenith. And I'd like to ask you a few questions about this topic, because we believe that a lot of people are going to learn from this. A lot of people need to hear how they can move from being a failure to becoming a success. So, Pastor, maybe I'd like you to give us a brief introduction about what it means for when you talk about mediocrity. I believe mediocrity is being average and being a poor quality, right? And when you talk about excellence, I know these things mean different people to different people. But being excellent is to be extremely good and exceptional. So, Pastor, I'd like to know what are those mind shifts that many youths have today that makes them to still remain in that level of mediocrity. I'd like you to talk about some of those mindsets that limit people, especially youth among us today, from getting to that point of success.
It's okay. Thank you, Mario, for that question. By the way, let me just appreciate you for inviting me to this podcast. I count it a real privilege to make my contribution to, the benefit of our viewers. I want to say that there is an aggressive, ongoing mass mediocritization of the masses, and the biggest victim of this mediocritization are the youthful populace. You see, what stands between you and your dream destination is your mindset. And your mindset in this context simply means the lens through which you see the world, your belief system, your norms, your value, how you interpret things, the definition that you give to things. But unfortunately, many young people today they find themselves in an environment that does not promote excellence. They find themselves in an environment that promote mediocre, and as a result of that, they are literally a victim of their environment. So you see them trying to rise, but no way. I mean, how can you look at north, or look at south, or look at west, or look at east, and then you think that you are going to make it? Because literally anywhere you look at, you see mediocrity here and there. So it is a big challenge among our youthful population. And I want to say without any want of contradiction, there are few, when I say few, extremely few, role model that young people can look up onto. Now, I mean, look at the economic sector, look at the academia, look at the political class, and literally all professional. So it becomes a very big challenge for them. And any young man or young woman that wants to excel, they must lift themselves above mediocrity. There must be that self-awareness for them to know that they are in a tight corner and they must seek help from mentors, listening to a program like this, that will be able to educate them, conscientize them, raise the level of their awareness, and then we need to look at sometimes more extended. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't want to forget that I have with me in the house mother brilliant minds. My right is Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon, can you say hi to the camera?
Hello, hi.
I'm happy to have you around. And then right next to him is Sister Promise. Sister Promise, can you say hi to the camera?
Hi.
You're welcome. And then Mabel, Sister Precious Princess. Yeah, Princess, your father. Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Thank you very much. So they're going to be joining me in this podcast, and they're going to be asking questions as well to Pastor. Pastor, we're going to listen. Please, I want to encourage you to listen to us. Look for jotter and pen, because you need to write down some of these key points. Thank you very much, Pastor, for that wonderful submission about mindset. So, sir, I want to ask, somebody defined mediocrity as a region bound on the north by compromise, on the south by indecision, on the east by past thinking, and on the west by a lack of vision. And this person is John Massey. He's a very thoughtful leader as well in his own regard. So please, I'd like you to talk about the practical steps or the daily routine that can help youth of today, especially in Nigeria, to develop a culture of excellence. The practical culture, practical steps that you today can take.
It's okay. John Mason is a great mind, and I've had the privilege of learning under him and being his remote mentor, mentee. And he has said it all. Now, there are basic steps that young people can take to lift themselves above mediocrity and then to achieve excellence in life. The very first one I will talk about is building the habits of heroes, building the daily routine of legend, building the lifestyle of people that are playing world class, people that are moving from O level to A level. I mean, these are people who are demonstrating, excellent at the peak. It's not an accident. I mean, I normally tell people that don't be distracted by the glory of my results, but be inspired by the discipline of the process. Now, for every outcome, there is a logic behind that outcome. So don't be distracted by that outcome. Our focus should be on the step by step by step by step sequence and processes that leads to that excellence. So young people should look at the logic behind it. And the fundamental thing about it is about that daily habit. See, life is more of evolution than revolution. Now, evolution in the sense that the daily little habits, actions, and steps that we take, those are the things that stack over time to give us the result. Sometimes I find myself in the university campus and I talk with students and I ask them what you want to be, what's your desire, what's your vision, and it's okay. I want to be a medical doctor, I want to be an accountant, and so on and so forth. It's okay. If that's your ambition, what are you doing now to realize that ambition? They get stuck. They can't answer me that question. I ask them, you want to be a medical doctor? Do you have a role model that you are following, that you are patterning your life after, you are learning from that person? They really don't know. And funny enough, when you ask them who is the world footballer of the year, they will tell you the world footballer. They will tell about Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and all those things. So I ask, you want to be a footballer? Then you know those people and follow them. But if you want to be a medical doctor, you want to be an accountant, whatever, you must look for people who are being world class in that field and then pattern your life after them. Look at the step that they took. Look at the sacrifice. Look at the passion. Look at the discipline. Look at the dedication to the craft that they are following. Then you follow those steps. You see, before I round up this point, I must say this, that heroism is not just an exclusive prerogative of some people. Absolutely no. Heroism is a matter of choice. Everyday people on the street can become a hero if they follow the steps, the processes, and the principle that those people who are heroes that we are celebrating today. I mean, talk about this Steve Jobs, talk about the Nelson Mandela, and all these people that did amazing things and left their feet in terms of history. There are basically some steps that they follow, they have it, they daily routine. These are people that give. They are not just taker. It is victim that takes. Leaders, they always give. You must come with that perspective. And with that perspective, even when you're on the street today, it's a matter of time you find yourself in the palace.
Thank you very much, sir. I can't agree less with what you said, Pastor. You mentioned some students in university who want to be a doctor and they are not doing what it takes to be a doctor. And life is about principle, right? You follow what it takes, you get the result. And you mentioned something about evolution. So it's not about revolution, but about evolution. That means we must constantly be reinventing ourselves.
Sure.
So, Pastor, I'd like to know, because talking about youth of today, especially in Nigeria, we find ourselves, a lot of youth are, having this wrong mindset, wrong belief about, success. And I want us to be very practical, sir. There are some mistakes that some of these youth make. And I want you to talk about some of these common mistakes that young people make that keep them stuck in mediocrity. They are aspiring. Seemingly they are doing some of these things, but they are still stuck. Maybe they're not doing it right. So what are those specific mistakes that maybe, for instance, the youth who want to become maybe a president of a nation, or youth want to become, say, a new surgeon? What are some of those specific mistakes that they make that hinder them or maybe get them stuck where they are?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Let me make this statement. The only way you can win in life is to learn how things work. If our young people want to win in life, they must learn how things work.
Yes.
Very good question. How many of them are learning? How many subject themselves to knowledge? I mean, go to the street now, you see them on their phone, you see them on the social media, and last time I went somewhere to go and buy something, and I saw some young ladies there. Guess what they were doing? They were watching comedy. Thank you very much. dancing
That's the
cars,
thing now.
looking at somebody riding bicycle, and what's the meaning of that? That's you're wasting your precious time. 24 hours a day, you are fitting it away. And when 24 hours is gone, you can't get it back again. I mean, I'm talking about learning. So, our young people must learn. They must acquire relevant knowledge based on the dream that they have in their hearts. Of course, if at all they have any dream in their hearts, they must conceive that dream and then they must subject themselves to mentorship. They must subject themselves to the process of acquiring knowledge, acquiring competency and skill in those areas. It's unfortunate people are not learning today. They are giving to entertainment, they are giving to sport, they are giving to fashion and so many of these things. But people who are sitting down to acquire knowledge, to develop themselves, to acquire skills that will help them to distinguish themselves among their equals. Very difficult. So I'm proposing, that's my hypothesis today. Our young people should acquire knowledge. They should go back to the forest of education. Not just the normal schooling. I'm talking about what we are education that is drawing out, getting the real, what we call motoric knowledge. Yes, practical that will really help them, to make do in life. Thank you.
I'd like to say something. You're very, very correct. It got to the time I had somebody else to design the logo for. So I said, send me your logo, let me see your design. She sent me a logo done with AI. I asked her, who are the people who are mentoring you? Who are the people are you looking up to? Because a lot of people want to venture into things, don't do their research. So with my little expertise on my field, that's opened me to understand that people must search. You must do your research before you do anything. You just I want to do this and you just jump into it without doing research. So I asked her, who are the people you're looking up to? Okay, open a fashion brand. Who are the people you're looking up to? She said, I said no. And I have to send her top brands. I said, your logo has nothing to tell you about your brand. I will design your international logo that will match your brand. If you want to be in the top brand, then you must see yourself from the start of what you design to that platform. And I designed a logo for her and I said to somebody out of the country, I said, approve it. He said, this is international standard. She was so happy about it. I said, next time, when you want to venture into things, first do your research. Look at the brands that have gone before you. Find out what they have done. This thing they have done, can I be like this? Because this is our generation, we most of us find it difficult to sit down and check. They are distracted by social media. Instead of them to focus on what they want to see. So it is very important that people do their search. It's very, very correct. But I have a question from that.
Okay.
Now, how can we now make sure that our young youth do away with distraction? Because distraction is the mother of mediocrity. Because when there's distraction, mediocrity is evident. Because why they are loose focused. They are not their mind is not focused on what they need to do. So now how do we deal with distraction so that it will not make us mediocres?
Thank you very much. Number one, distraction is the enemy of distinction. Many of our young people today, they are winking in the dark. And their best strategy is hope. They are just hoping and just believing that it will just work out. Actually, no. You don't live your life to chance. You design it consciously, deliberately. You take specific step and action. Now, you see, number one thing is that there is this noise, literally all over the social system and everywhere. There is noise everywhere. A young man, a young woman that want to live themselves above mediocrity, number one, there must be that self-awareness. Number two, there must be clarity. Clarity simply means you are clear with what you are looking for. That means you that engage when I graduate or an undergraduate student today, ask them, what do you want to be after your program? I'm telling you, you'll be astonished by the answer they are going to give to you. 90% of them don't know where they are going. Some of them, when they go to the youth service, after youth service, they'll now say, what do I do next? Can you imagine? I mean, you are just waking up in the evening What were you doing in the morning? What were you doing in the afternoon? So there must be clarity. Now, after clarity, there must be hunger.
Yes.
That hunger is what we call passion.
Very good.
And passion simply means you want something and you are willing to make sacrifice. In fact, you are willing to go through pain to experience that thing that you are looking for. How many young people today want to pass through pain, want to pass through difficulty? Many don't have backbone. Probably because of their brought up,
Yes,
and the way that sometimes the celebrity just come out and paint some picture. I mean, you can get this thing overnight. Just flip your finger like this, and you make money, and those kind of things. It doesn't work like that. There are processes you must go through before you get there.
Yes.
So clarity is pretty important. Hunger and passion, willingness to make sacrifice, and then discipline. Any young man or young woman that has discipline, self-discipline, I tell them you have solved 80% of your problem. Because you'll be able to close your ears to the noise, and you'll be able to major, clear with your destination, and know the step-by-step processes you are going to take to eventually get you to that destination.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So now, what I can get from what you're saying, sir, is it is more also like a lot of people are hungry to make it, just that they want an easy means out, the easy way out.
Correct.
So how do we advise our young youth to convert that same energy that they want to use to make quick money online into soft skills that will open doors for them to become prominent people, and along the line they begin to develop strong spinal cords to be able to receive pressure of life. So how do we now advise them to convert that energy?
Pastor, to answer this question, right? Okay. I know that environment is very key, very important. And it's easy to say how to Some people have the reality of economic situations, maybe parental backgrounds, and some of these things limits them. Not that they don't have desire and dreams. Some people tell you that I want to be a doctor when they're in primary school, and still they are doing a different thing. Maybe because of situation, economic realities, and all things also. So I really want you to give our audience a kind of some tips on how to be resilient, so that in spite of the challenge or setbacks that they encounter, maybe factors of economy, situation, Nigeria, all this Nigerian syndrome and all that thing, and the youth want to succeed because they're dealing with the youth. So how will such a person, gather the momentum, the strength to say no, in spite of what comes away, I will do it.
Thank you very much. Amazing question. Now, you see, let me tell you something. Most of the time, I don't like talking about myself, but sometimes I need to talk about myself so that people will know that what we're talking about is not just what we read on textbooks, but these are our personal experience. Today we are running about 2 different companies, and we are touching life, we are transforming life, and then in the process of doing that, you are making money out of it and all that. These things are reality. Personally, I run an agency that generates close to $500 million every year and all that. It's because of all that I've learned. Like, help me to do this, help me to practice. Now, but let me come back to the question. Life is a choice. All of us must have that, in the back of our mind. See, let me tell you something. There is a very deep truth. There are people that are more disadvantaged than you, but they made it.
Yes.
How? That's the question. Very right. There are people no father, no mother, but they made it. How? I want to make a statement with you, and this is what my mentor taught me. When you are the gate of your destiny, your helpers will show up. I give you a short story.
Pastor, can you say that again?
When you are at the gate of your destiny, your helpers will show up. I want to give you a practical story of one of my mentors. This guy is a billionaire. His name is crippled. He worked with AIDS. He was born after 2 years. He had polio. He could not go to school. But you know what? I'm just cutting the story short. Every day, as his brothers and sisters are going to school, he will dress up with his uniform. He can't go to school, but he will move out of the house and he will stand at the gate of the house and be shedding tears. He was doing that every day. One day, a man was passing on the road. He saw him crying. He stopped. He came and met him. He said, "Young boy, why are you crying?" He said, "I'm late. I love school. I want to go to school. But I can't go to school. My brothers are going to school, but I can't trek to school. The man said, take me to your parents. He went, he took him to his parents. He said, he told the parents, he said, sir, my office is close to the school. I will come in every day. As I'm going to work, I'll pick him and I'll take him there to school every day. So what did I say? When you are at the gate of your destiny, you should. This guy I'm telling you is a disruptor. Let me tell you something about him. I say his name. Listen to me. Listen to me. When this guy is struggling with his walking into the stick or to the stage to speak in different locations. I've been on his program, both live, online program, and all that. When he's coming to the stage, you pity him. Are you hearing me? But when he finishes talking, you want to be like him, and you begin to pity yourself. Listen to me. Let's listen. See, whatever circumstance you are facing today did not touch your mind, and your mind is the biggest asset that you have.
Very correct.
No matter how your environment is, you can rise above your environment based on the state of your mind, based on the definition that you give to incidents that happen to you.
Yes.
Now, look at the simple equation now. Number one, you have an event. Number two, you have a response to that event that took place. Number three, you have the outcome of that event. The event is an independent variable. You can't change it. Event will always happen.
Yes.
But you can change your response to that event. And the moment you change your response to that event, the outcome is going to change.
Yes.
Here is my message to my fellow young people in this country and African and others that are listening to me. Your destiny is not in Europe or in America. Your destiny is in your mind.
That's very correct.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I would like to add something to that. Yes. One thing I learned about martial arts is before a battle is being fought, you fight the battle in your mind.
Sure.
So you are given an opportunity to stay on the outfield. Then you practice, aim at the target mentally, stay on it.
Yes.
Then there's a saying that I learned in martial arts. They said, until you learn to beat the unseen enemy,
Okay.
and your sweat drips like a blood, you will never defeat an enemy in the ring.
Sure.
So it means that you must stay focused on what you want to achieve. Practice daily.
Yeah.
Train your mind physically. Train your body physically. Then when it's time for the major combat, you find out how outstanding you can be. And that knowledge has helped me so far in my field. And that's what basketballers do.
Sure.
They jump back and forth. Imagine that some people want to collect the ball from your hand. So there's an imaginary opponent, and the moment they play like that, they're able to win. So in this life, we have to first live, because our mind is the world on its own, it's a planet on its own. Until we learn to live in the mind that we have and see ourselves living that life, we cannot live the life physically. And the moment you see yourself living that life physically, you find out that it looks like deja vu. Have I not lived this life before? But because you've lived it up in your mind, you find this is very correct. Great, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Very correct.
Sorry, before I forget my thoughts, I really wish many of our young people will study Lionel Messi. That's the problem. People just look at him playing football on the field, but they don't study him. They don't ask, where was he? Where is he coming from? What happened to him? I tell you the story about Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi played football and he plays it very well. Yeah. There were some scouts that came from Europe to Argentina to come and get some people that can play ball. And when they saw him, he was a good fit, but there was a problem. His height was the problem. He was not tall. So they say, okay, you are going for we can't take you because we're going to spend a lot of money for you. But you know what? That did not kill his spirit. He never gave up. He kept on pressing. Today, what are we talking about? The record that guy has set, I don't even know if they ever break it. So my message is, don't give up. Your response to the event are very, very important. Your response will determine the outcome.